What if I told you you could customize and control the color of your lights everywhere on your truck? From your headlights to your interior lighting, your grille, your wheels, and your underbody. It's possible with the Profile Prism line of RGB color changing products. This creates a whole ecosystem where you can control all your lights with your phone in a simple app, and everything can have its own style. RGB, RGBW, color changing lights, they're nothing new, but if you haven't heard about the Profile Performance Prism line, you're missing out. They do it better than anybody else because they've got everything under one roof. Have you ever had RGB lighting and this one gets controlled this way, this one gets controlled this way? That's a thing of the past with the Profile Prism ecosystem. All of these products are connectable and controlled through the same system, which makes it really easy to fine-tune exactly how you want the lighting scheme to work. For your headlights, there's LED halos, LED demon eyes for inside your projectors. There's even OEM DRL LED board replacements that now feature RGB lighting. For under your truck, you've got RGBW adjustable wheel ring lights and color-changing rock lights. For everywhere else, you have a selection of different sizes of flexible RGB LED strips. One thing you'll notice with all the Profile RGB stuff is you don't see all of the big individual LED strips like a lot of RGB products. The Profile Prism LED strips and halos have this white phosphorus coating to diffuse the light to make it look like one continuous light output, but also they look better when they're turned off. So let's dive in. First, we're going to look at the halos from Profile Performance. Now, if you go watch our other video about switchback lighting, you're going to see that there's dedicated switchback that's white and amber LED halos. However, if you really want to do something cool, the Profile Prism not only will do full color changing mode, but it also has a built-in switchback mode also. We'll get to that in just a second. Now, a lot of times when you're installing these, you have to drill a hole to run your wiring out of the headlight. Well, most products out there require you to just goop a bunch of silicone in that hole. The Profile stuff makes it really easy with this waterproof pass-through grommet to make sure that you've got a clean install. Next, you've got the JST connectors that are foolproof. They only go in one way, which makes this really easy to install. Following along all the way down to the driver, this is what your driver looks like. A couple things about the Profile drivers that make them better than everything else out there. Number one, you have these really easy to use mounting tabs, these ears on the side. As you can see, this is going to make it really easy to mount it to anything. Number two, you have the black and orange wires coming off the bottom. You have to plug in the black in order for all of this stuff to work. This is your ground wire. We'll show you that in just a second. But the orange wire is if you want these halos to act as a switchback function. You wire up this orange wire to the positive circuit on your turn signal, and whatever your halo's doing, whether it's red, green, or blue at the time, it'll automatically jump into a switchback mode if you have this hooked up. That's a really cool built-in feature that nobody else has to offer. Lastly, you have this really easy to plug in connector that goes from the driver to the controller. There's two controllers you can use. The first one is the actual Profile Prism Pilot. That's their RGB remote specifically designed for this line of products. Now, this is an RF remote, radio frequency, so you don't have to be pointing directly at it like a lot of the cheaper IR style remotes that you're going to find out there. Now, if you're like me and you want to control everything with your smartphone, I'd recommend the Morimoto XBT RGB Controller. It has this cool carbon fiber bracket, and you've got a power light on it that tells you that it's turned on, and all of your wiring comes off the side in these over molded connectors. How it comes is you have one splitter with two RGBW sets of plugs for your wheel ring lights or any other RGBW product. And you have two more splitters that have 4-wire RGB connectors. So in this case, we're going to hook up one of the RGB connectors to the Profile Prism Halo. You really can't mess this up because they only go one way. Now, when I initially turn it on, you can see that we get something like this. It's not very bright. If you get weird colors or dim light, let me show you what you did wrong. Remember the black and orange wires that come off the driver? Well, the black wire is not optional. That's your ground for the whole system. If you don't want the switchback function, don't worry about the orange wire. But to make the halos work right, we got to use the black wire. Once I plug in the black wire to a ground, then we get something like that. That's what you want your LEDs to look like. Now this is just one color. In a minute we're going to show you exactly how to do everything. But if you want to have more of a subdued look, another option for the halos are these flexible silicone covers called smoke rings. These actually slip on over the halo like this, and then after you mount it, you can make a more diffused look. Like I said before, these RGB halos have a switchback function. Watch what happens when I apply power to the orange wire coming off the driver. It interrupts what's happening and it gives you that really strong mixed amber look. And in just a second, it goes back. So if you're not using any color while you're out driving and it's just off, it'll automatically hit the amber when you do turn signals. If you do have a light on and it's any color in the spectrum and you give it power, you're going to get that cool amber effect. Alright, so you got your halos set up. Next is a set of flexible strips like this. This is the Profile Prism RGB strip lighting, and you can put this anywhere. They're used in the grille, they're used under your dash for your interior, they're used in the trunk. Anywhere that you can think about having a flexible LED strip. You need to add light anywhere, this is going to do it for you. As you can see, you've got all the same type of connectors, all the way up to the driver and the integrated switchback function if you need that. Look at that. Now on the same controller, I can have 2 halos and 2 LED strips. If you want to add more, Morimoto XBT Bluetooth controller has a full line of splitters and extensions. So the possibilities are almost endless up to the maximum amp rating of the controller itself. The other internal headlight mod that's really popular that you can do that matches the system is the Profile Prism Demon Eye lights. This actually mounts inside your projector if you have factory projectors or a projector retrofit, and it will allow you to have a glowing projector when the headlight is off. Now let's move to the underbody of the truck. Whether you're doing the flexible strip, the halo, the demon eyes, if you just want to do rock lighting, there's an option for that too. You can have it run independently or in sync with all of your other RGB lighting. As you can see, it's a very durable shell with a very strong polycarbonate case over the LEDs, and in the middle you've got a screw that holds it all together. The great thing about this is that they have a magnet mount, and this is the easiest rock light in the world to install. A lot of rock lights out there, you've got to drill holes or use zip ties to hold it up. As long as you've got some steel under your vehicle, which most of them do, this thing literally just pops in place. Now you can mount it however you want, but what's really important is how it works with the system. Like I said before, the whole Profile Prism lineup is its own ecosystem. They all work together. This is what you get with a rock light, and you can see it's designed for 4 of them. This is a big splitter that on one end connects to the Bluetooth controller, which we'll do in just a second, and then it goes to this really heavy-duty waterproof splitter, and it will connect to up to 4 rock lights. There's also a 2 rock light version, a 6 rock light version. Really the sky's the limit with how many of these you want to put on your vehicle. And just like that, we've got the whole system in place. Before we jump into the RGB wheel rings, let's show you the interface that you get with a controller. This is what the Morimoto XBT app looks like. As you can see in the middle, you've got this dial that allows you to choose whatever color you want. Then you have 3 channels. So each of these channels are individually controllable. So you could have one channel do red, one channel do purple, and one channel do white, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. Also, if you go to the next section over, you have different themes that the controller can do. You just select them and watch the LEDs do their thing. This controller is multifaceted and can do a lot of different things. You have a fading function, you have a strobe function, and you can adjust the speed. Here's another example where we can have one channel doing a strobing color and the other channel is a solid white. So let's pick a color and plug in the next piece of the puzzle. Remember, on the outputs of this controller you have a 5-wire specifically for the RGBW products. That means the wheel rings will do RGB, any combination of red, green, and blue, and they have a dedicated white LED chip. So that's what this looks like. You've got the LED strip around the perimeter of the band, and then you have these brackets that come off that actually mount on the back side of your brake rotor dust shield. It's a little bit of an involved install. You have to take the wheel off, remove the dust shield, mount these, put it all back together, run your wiring. Nothing here spins. These stay stationary behind your brake and your wheel hub. The halos, the flexible strip, the demon eye, the rock light, the wheel rings, those are all universal products that you can put on anything and mix and match. But there's also a huge catalog of vehicle-specific applications like this. These metal circuit boards are designed to replace the OEM LED daytime running lights in a vehicle. This is exactly the same shape and mounting configuration that the factory daytime running light LED looks like, but Profile has an RGB version. You open your headlights, you take out the factory LED daytime running light board, and you replace it with this. It has all the same features for an easy install as the rest of this stuff, and when you're done, you can control your factory daytime running lights with the same controller that's doing all of your other components. With Profile Performance Pixel LED technology, the sky's the limit. You can customize all the lighting on every corner of your vehicle with this system. The controller is expandable and customizable. The LEDs have different sizes and shapes to fit any application. If you're looking for something to do any color on any vehicle, this is the stuff that you should be using in your next project.